Clean Vision identifies and acquires companies and technologies that have an impact on the green economy. With me is CEO Dan Bates to explain more about the company, and I know you just released a shareholder letter, so kind of summarize that and tell me what was the purpose of that.
Well, thanks for having me, Jane. I appreciate it. Yeah, we just put out a shareholder letter, which was basically a recap of the first half of 2023, explaining to our shareholders what we've accomplished over the course of the half year, but also the couple years prior to that, laying all the foundational work for the projects that we have established all over the world. And I think it was really well received. We were able to highlight what's upcoming and what's really important to the company, specifically starting in Morocco and India, where we have projects already established, but now expanding into West Virginia and in Arizona, where we're expecting great things.
We have some interesting projects going on. So what would you say are the priorities then for the company going forward?
The priorities are to really stand up what we've started with, meaning, for instance, in West Virginia, we expect to have that operational the first quarter of 2024, and we're going to focus on making sure that that happens. Also expanding our Morocco operation, where we're currently processing 20 tons a day of waste plastic. We're going to grow that to 70 this month, and then by the end of the year, we expect that to be closer to 120, 130 tons per day, which will generate real significant revenue for the company. We're estimating that to be about $1 million a month out of Morocco.
Now, is there financing involved with the company? And if so, what does that mean for shareholders? Is it dilutive, or what does that mean?
Good question. A lot of our shareholders are worried that these plants are going to require a lot of additional dilution, capital raise. What we're going to be doing is standing up the financing through to traditional project finance mechanisms, ESG investors, green bonds, things like that. So it will be non-dilutive.
Okay, so talk to me about each project, like a timeline or status update on the ones Morocco and the others.
Sure. So Morocco is our first acquisition. It was a project that we started on over a year ago, where we acquired 51% of a company called Eco-Synergy Group in Agadir, Morocco. They were processing a small amount of plastic and wanted to be able to expand. We were able to put a relationship together where we acquired a majority control, and then with that came the land, the permits, the existing equipment, and the new equipment that's going to be installed across the next 2 quarters. So we're really excited about that. And also with that comes a feedstock agreement, which we're putting the final touches on right now, that's going to provide almost 1 million tons a year.
Okay.
So to give you some context, as we get this facility up to 500 tons in Agadir, we may need 2 more facilities of the same size for that amount of feedstock.
Now, you mentioned the green bonds and the ESG investing. Is there government financing for some of these projects?
There is, yes, and we're exploring all of that. The Inflation Reduction Act has some really interesting opportunities for us in green hydrogen, which is an area that we're looking into, clean energy, clean fuels. All of that is something that's of keen importance to us.
Okay, and what about additional projects? Not that you don't have your hands full already, but
yeah, exactly.
Anything else you're looking at?
Well, we've got projects lined up, as we've announced, in France, in Turkey, in Puerto Rico, Sri Lanka, expansion in India, and then we're also reaching out into some of our contacts and our relationships throughout Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is where most of the waste plastic ends up in the ocean.
Interesting.
It's really a bad problem out there, and we'd like to be able to go out there and really have an impact.
Now, what would you say the big challenges are for the company? I mean, I can imagine doing business in all these different countries would be
24
challenging.
hours in the day is a challenge.
Right.
We
Yes.
need a few more hours.
And all different time zones.
That's right.
Yeah.
The challenge is making sure that we have great local partners and that we have feedstock to make sure the plants are operational 24/7, right? We can't run out of the input. And then the offtake agreements. We have to make sure that we have solid relationships with our offtakers, which we do, and we're putting them in place now, both domestically and internationally.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps me up at night.
So you would say that those partnerships are a key to success. Anything else?
Like everything,
Yeah.
You know, good, solid local partners to make sure the facilities are running effectively and efficiently, and then offtake agreements so that when we produce low sulfur fuels, we have somebody to buy them.
Yeah.
Right? for our shareholders' benefit and the benefit of the company, of course,
Yeah.
right? And then the other thing is, of course, access to capital, making sure we make the right financing deals so that it benefits the company without diluting the shareholders.
Yeah. All right, Dan, thank you so much for the update, and you must be getting some frequent flyer miles. So
Yeah. Thank you very much
yeah,
for having me.
thank you.